I decided to have some fun on my birthday. I wanted to do something creative, so I booked some time at a famous studio in Los Angeles, and I decided to record a song. Some of my all-time favorite records were recorded here, including Van Halen's Fair Warning, in the same room that we actually got to record in. But the whole plan was to just be able to do something fun and creative, and I chose to record a David Bowie song called I'm Afraid of Americans.
I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans.
Which, of course, in this day and age seems to be an appropriate time for such a song. The fun idea was, let me get into the studio, plug in as many toys as we could to see what they sounded like, and try a bunch of different things. Use some equipment of mine that I haven't had a chance to use, that's just been sitting, waiting to be used. It was just the perfect opportunity. Birthday, fun time, let's record a song. So that's what we did. When I wanted to find somebody to sing it, Ryan Brown, my drummer, said, I have the perfect guy. Besides being a very talented musician in his own right, he does have a very special gift for being able to recreate the sounds of David Bowie.
No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. Johnny's in America. I'm afraid of Americans.
I think that was an ancient microphone of some sort, and they had it fed through all sorts of distortion devices to create some unique sounds, like as if you were singing through a radio that was about to explode.
So, is this going through a fuzz device of some sort? Is that just what we got? Okay, all right, cool.
On this song, I didn't spend a lot of time on guitars. I wanted to hear what the equipment and what the studio was capable of reproducing, making decisions on the fly to print stuff that was actually going to be part of the song and part of the mix, so that when you put the faders up at 0, the song already sounds like a finished record. The records that I grew up listening to that I like the most, really knowing what you wanted and just printing that, because you had less options. You didn't have 100 tracks available. I decided to try to really make this stay as analog as possible. I have nothing against plugins. There's some great plugins, but I haven't had a chance to use all analog gear in a really long time. So any chance we could to throw it through any kind of different tube compressor or other things, we've been plugging them in and just trying them out. Just get a unique sound and character from it. Let's bring in some cool gear, use it, and see what we can do with it. B-O-E-O.
O-O-U-E-O. O-U.
There's a lot of synth parts on it. So instead of recording them as synth parts, DWEEZIL had the great idea to have Sean do it vocally.
When he picked that song to record, I really was excited about it, and to kind of hear what he had in mind as far as creating the sound effects and all the different things that were happening in the song in our own way was really cool. So,
Ready, Sean?
oh, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, oh.
It's super unique, and it's like this wall of Sean Coey coming straight at you. So watch out.
There's some strange backup vocals, and then also, in addition to that, there are some really weird sounds that are like beeps and whistles and screams, like literal screams, and some of them are just like vocal effects on the keyboard. And so I went through the song and tried to listen to each little thing that I heard in each section, and kind of we went down the list, and it was my first time getting to kind of approach a song that way. So, and it's always like that in this experience. Like, he just kind of gives me these opportunities that it's like, well, let's try this.
This was fun to hear her have to do this kind of weird stuff.
America, rotate side of the wheel.
hired. I brought my main SG that had recently been destroyed, and then like a phoenix has risen from the ashes. Thanks to Sweetwater, they fixed it, and because the headstock had broken off. And I had two different Stratocasters. One was a Fender that I had customized and had these McNelly pickups in it. And the other one was a newly made guitar from Echo Park Guitars. And it's a Carina Stratocaster style body, but it has a short scale neck, so it's much more like the Gibson SG neck on a Stratocaster. And I did play that one for the main chorus power chord stuff and a couple other parts. I decided to do my regular touring rig as the guitar setup because I know I can get sounds out of it quickly, and there's a lot of flexibility with it. So some of the clean sounds and some of the more strange and obscure distortion sounds that would be called for on this song just fit this guitar rig. So everything that I've done to get a guitar sound has been just turn the system on and select the preset, and there it is. You know? So it's been pretty fast for guitar sound.
We had the most raging Rototom party of all time, and I can't believe you missed it.
Kurt Morgan, the bass player, and myself, we both were managing to turn all of the Rototoms while Ryan was hitting them. So the sound was changing every time the stick met the drum.
DWEEZIL and Kurt came in, and I was like, what are you guys doing? And DWEEZIL said, we're going to turn the Rototoms as you play them.
And what we got, just quite by accident, which you hear in the intro, is the very last hit that Ryan does on one of the toms. He hit it, and I had just enough room to pitch bend it down in the perfect spot.
It's like preschool sometimes in here, really. It's like they just throw instruments at us and we just start like jamming along like little ratchets and toys and things. Literally like toys, like wind-up toys.
I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans.
That's the closest one.
Fuck yeah. All right.
Any opportunity that you can have to be a fool and have a good time, I think you should do it.
I had a couple of cymbals that had cracked years ago that a really good friend of mine had cut out into different shapes. So we used a couple of those. And I have a ribbon crasher that's sort of like 3 pieces of sheet metal stacked on top of each other. A thunder tube, but I was playing it with my finger.
I'm Afraid of Americans has one repeating riff throughout the song. And the version that I did, we embellished the riff at the end. It starts to have a part that is introduced in one of the earlier choruses just as a background part, but then it takes over at the end and it adds an extra beat or two.
I was like, wait a minute, and it kind of morphs into 9/8 as it goes along. And I said, do you want to do that in the song? And he said, yeah. And I said, sweet, let's add some 9/8 in the end.
As soon as they went like that, it was just like, that just adds that little spice of DWEEZIL on the song, you know, that little cherry. It's like, oh, little signature move there, I think.
It's always super fun to record with DWEEZIL. When I'm in this environment with him, that's when I look at him and I think, wow, you are Frank Zappa's son. He has all these amazing ideas that are coming rapid fire. Hey, you do this, double this, do this, here's this harmony, go do this, try this here. It's super fun being in a creative environment with him.
DWEEZIL tends to write these things as he feels them, and sometimes they're in odd time signatures, sometimes they're not. This one happened to come out in 9. For me, it's typical Dweezil riff. It's kind of slinky rhythmically, and he uses a lot of pull-offs, like open string pull-offs, which add to that whole kind of bouncy, quirky feeling, but yet it still manages to rock pretty hard. It's a mean riff. It took me a couple minutes to get it under my hands, and then it's an ass kicker for the outro.
Johnny's in America. Johnny's in America. Johnny's in America.
I had no idea this was Dweezil's birthday. So, Dweezil, happy birthday. And it's been really a lot of fun.
I've actually really enjoyed it because I think the song came to life in a way that was much more fun and exciting than trying to create the emotional content after with all the knob twisting. It was there as it went down.
I think we had all the necessary ingredients for a great track. I think we have a great song, legendary room. Morgan Stratton, our engineer, did a fantastic job. All of the tones that he got, the history of a room like this, the quality of the sound in the room, and musicians that are decent, you know?
I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. Yeah, I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. Johnny's in America. 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 Johnny's in America.